Welcome everyone in to Gateway and or World Wide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And tonight it's the Venom Truck Series from Gateway. And your host here tonight, Michael Triscaro. My co-host will join me shortly. Tyler Vickery, is all the drivers here tonight on track and getting their warm-up laps in. And I couldn't be more happy to bring you another Tuesday night of the Venom Truck Series. And this is now race number 9 here in season number 11. And we look forward to bringing you all the action here tonight. I'll bring in my broadcast partner, Tyler Vickery, and he will tell you more about this racetrack. And having a couple technical difficulties with his mic. We'll get him going here momentarily. And now we should have Tyler Vickery up here in the booth.
All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Gateway is one of those fun tracks. You can kind of call it a comparison to Martinsville as a paperclip. The only fun part is this is way much longer. It has a little bit of significant characteristics to it, especially 3 and 4 is going to be a little bit much longer. You'll see a lot of these guys running when they running around, like we're looking at Brody Gunther right now. 3 and 4 is pretty much a flat out area of the track, while 1 and 2 is going to have a little bit more heavier banking, and we see it all time and time again when the trucks are here in real life, as well as with the IndyCar, as they usually will do a double here with IndyCar and as well as the trucks being here on the same weekend. That 1 and 2 is going to be a little bit more steeper banking, which is going to make these trucks a little bit tighter in the entry. So I'll be looking forward to seeing if we're going to have some 2 or 3 wide action, but at the same time, 1 and 2 is going to be very, very tight one-lane road. See how Brody's coming into the pits now. That is going to be another big thing, is pit entry. You have to enter before turn 3 in that little in that runoff lane. You have to make sure not to get speed either when you're going into that runoff lane. If you go into that runoff lane and go a little too fast, there is a big opportunity that you're going to end up sliding in the grass and either fly back in front of someone or could potentially cause a really big wreck and have a caution as well.
Well, we are going to bring up our starting grid here tonight as the checkered flag waves here on your warm-up. We're actually going to start in the back here tonight. It's row number 17. That's going to be the rookie, Corey Clark. And on row number 16 here tonight, starting 31st, will be Matt Williamson. And outside of him will be Gary Clark Jr. On row number 15 here tonight, Corey Rutherford will start 29th. And to his outside, the rookie, Clef Douthit. Row number 14, it'll be Josh Freed rolling off 27th. And Austin Holyfield rolling off in 28th here tonight. Rolling off on row 13, starting 26 will be the 69 of Cole Maxwell. And to his inside, starting 25th, Rodney Matney. Rolling off on row number 12, starting 24th, Hayden Palumbo. To his inside, Brantley Gainey Jr. Rolling off on row number 11, starting 22nd, it'll be Paul Ellison. To his inside, it'll be George Jackson. Rolling off on row number 10 tonight, starting 20th will be Eric Breeding. To his inside, it'll be Jack Watts. Rolling off on row number 9, it'll be Jordan Jornau and Tyler Berger. Rolling off on row 8 tonight, it'll be Garrett Rainey and Steve Roman. Rolling off on row 7, Kyle Zittel and Lucas Carver. Rolling off on row number 6 tonight, Jan Van Leer and Joshua Rutherford. And rolling off on row 5, Charlie Widner and Matt Schlosser. Rolling off on row number 4 tonight, Zach Lockett and Chris Mackey. Rolling off on row number 3 here tonight, Andy Palicki and John Kay. And rolling off on the second row, Michael Milfelt Jr. and Parker Donaldson. And starting on the front row tonight, starting in second, the 05 of Chad Stearns. And starting from your pole position, the favorite tonight, the 01 of Brody Gunther. And we are set to go racing here just outside of St. Louis, across the border here in Illinois, as these trucks 33 of them on track tonight. Get set for the green flag here at Gateway. And Gunther will take the green flag here tonight. Chad Stearns to his outside as all these engines come to full song here. And what should be a great race here at Gateway. Brody Gunther will lead lap number 1, but he is under attack from the 05 of Chad Stearns, who looks really quick here in the early going as he looks to the inside here in turn number 3. And remember, a very unique racetrack. A lot flatter turns here than a lot of other short tracks. Like Tyler said, a little bit like Martinsville, but much bigger and an odd shape at that. Very long straightaways here at World Wide Technology Raceway as Michael Milfelt right now in the 3rd position. But the battle back here for 4th between Andy Plicki and Parker Donaldson.
Donaldson's trying to get that inside lane to work, just not able to get it work right off the bat. Andy Plicki able to get that runoff, and actually Parker Donaldson's going to be under attack by John Kay as Kay is going to take that preferred inside lane. It's going to looks like he lifts a little bit though, trying to save some tires, which I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few of these drivers in the back save some tires by lifting a little in 3 and 4. Best option there on trying to be able to make the long run work, especially for 150 laps. The stage points will be at the end of lap 75, so it's a long way to go for these drivers, and I would not be surprised if we see roughly about 4 stops, give or take. I want to say usually with these trucks we'll have a fuel windows usually between about roughly, I want to say give or take between lap 33 and as far as lap 41, depending on how you can stretch the fuel, just because of how the pit road entry is going to be. So would not be surprised if we see some people just really being patient on the tires, not wanting to get on the throttle early. So you can see Donaldson struggling to try to make any room as now the 93 further back. Zach Lockett's having a struggle with Matt Schlosser there for the 7th place.
Yeah, good battles here throughout the top 10 tonight. Jan Van Leer, he's inside the top 10 now, 3 spots up here in the In-N-Out Burger machine tonight, up to 9th behind him. Kyle Zittel is one of the best here in this series, up to 10th at the moment. Remember Kyle Zittel, he was the PGR Light Series regular season champion, as he looks to, ascend through this year's chase for the Light Series Championship on PGR every Monday night. So you catch Kyle racing Mondays and Tuesdays here live on PGR. Remember the Week 1 winner at Daytona, the 95 of Charlie Widner. He's pulled up to 11th at the moment, as Lucas Carver now will battle him here for the top 11 at the moment. So kind of strung out here in the early going. Brody Gunther, though, still leads Chad Stearns.
Yeah, and actually he's got already a gap here. Both Chad Stearns and Brody Gunther got a gap of almost close to a second. It's 0.8 of a second right now over Michael Milfeld Jr., and he's got about another half a second, a 0.6 of a second gap over Andy Plicki. But both of these guys right now are running a little bit quicker lap times right now. The last lap times, though, coming across the line, they're running right about 1/10 of a second faster than the rest of the field. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys have really started falling back a little bit on pace, just trying to save some tire. Chad Stearns going to look on the inside, but I think Chad Stearns, seeing how we've watched him throughout this year, Stearns has been much better, I've noticed, when it comes to the fuel runs. He's been able to run a little bit longer than Brody Gunther, able to save a little bit more tires too. It's just the pit stops have not worked so well for Chad Stearns. So I wonder if this one's going to be if this track's kind of in his favor on more tracks that he likes, because he is showing out really well and hanging with Brody Gunther as well.
Yeah, hanging with Gunther at the moment. We're used to seeing Brody Gunther kind of, obviously get out there in that clean air and kind of take off. We saw it at Lime Rock at the road course as well as the ovals here this season. But he is not your point leader at the moment, and that is, something to also take into account. We're going to bring up the point lead here on the board, and we'll see here, and you can see for yourself right now, Hayden Palumbo leads the points, 67 points ahead of that cut line. You got to go back down to third to find Brody Gunther. And Matt Saucer right there in second at the moment. Joshua Matacek hanging on to fourth. Kyle Zittel in the top 5. You got Lucas Carver there in 6th. John Kay in the 7th position. And 8th, it's Charlie Widner with a 12-point gap to the cutoff line. Michael Milfelt is tied with him. And Josh Freed hanging on that last spot at the moment, plus 8. And there's your cutoff line. Chris Mackey, 8 points back. Matt Williamson, 10. You got Austin Holyfield, 28th. Garrett Rainey, 30th. And Andy Ducato in 15th. He is 31 points back. So that's currently your championship standings. And, this is round 9 of 15, Tyler. So, I mean, you're not going to see too much change here, I would assume, out of these top few drivers. But you might see some change here from 8th on back.
Yeah, I'm seeing how some of these points are. I would not be surprised if we start seeing like 8th on back, maybe 7th and 7th just in case. But at the same time, John Kay's been pretty consistent when it comes to getting stage points. I mean, Matt Williamson sitting, one of the drivers outside looking in has gotten 23 stage points this season, and that's what's helping him out. I think if he can get a few more stage points here, Matt Williamson could definitely put his name in the hat for making the chase as well. Looking at some of these points, the way it's going, I wouldn't be surprised. We might see some other drivers. I mean, Austin Holyfield from last week, he bumped up 4 spots up to 13th. Interesting for him, he has not gotten a single stage point. So there's drivers in here, I feel like if they can have a really good run, if they can if the way we're running right now, if they can make these pit stops work in their favor, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some of these guys further down that have been struggling on stage points to get some rare stage points and move themselves up into a potential chase fight.
Yeah, stage points, obviously a premium here in the series. And like I said, no yellows come out for those. So you got to play your cards right if you want those stage points. A lot of drama with that. And the battle wreck here, as that's going to be between Andy Palicki, 4th. That's Sean Kay in 5th. And 6th, it's Matt Slosser. So these three really battling hard at the moment. As Slosser goes underneath the 2 truck of John Kay. They'll battle here. And it looks like coming off the turn, they'll be side by side down the front stretch here. And Kay will win the battle for now as Parker Donaldson comes here. And he's under attack at the moment from Jan Van Leer. He's up a couple spots here so far tonight, side by side, these two as well. So a lot of single file trucks, and then you'll see a couple battles throughout the field. That's kind of what we expect here at this racetrack. A little bit farther back is going to be Steve Roman, as he's piloting the 00 here tonight, up to 14th. And behind him, Tyler Berger in the 44 here tonight. Now we got a few drivers carrying some cameras tonight. We'll get to those later. Kyle Zittel, Lucas Carver, Brody Gunther, as well as Andy Palicki, always in that VR. So we go back up front, and Brody Gunther continues to lead. He's led all the laps so far here tonight. Him and Stern started 1 and 2. And they are pulling away from 3rd place, Michael Milfelt Jr.
Yeah, they're having a little bit better consistency when it comes to the lap time compared to the lap times. Like right now, their most recent lap times compared to their best laps, like their fastest laps have been 33.5s for both. Their most recent lap time was a 34.4. So they've already fallen off 0.9 of a second off of their fastest. So I'm seeing a few other drivers are just getting right around about a second of fall off as well. So the tires are already coming into a factor, but these 2 drivers right here are been able to keep the pace, not let the fall off hit them too hard as well. And the way these guys are going single file, you can already tell like who's been struggling on tires, who pushed a little too hard, who's actually been able to save tires as I've been keeping an eye on some lap times, like the third through sixth behind Gunther and Stearns, they're all running about a tenth of a second slower than Gunther and Stearns. So I've been kind of wondering if they start to put a little bit more pressure and start trying to close in that 2.5 second gap, especially where Millfield Jr.'s 2.5 seconds behind these two guys running single file, just knocking out laps right now as we're starting to work lap 19.
I'm watching, actually we're going to have a battle again here as Foster looks to the inside. He's going to go to the outside now of Palicki, and Kay is in this battle as well. But I'm watching Brody Gunther. We're actually going to pull him up here on the screen. And, he's shifting every so often on this racetrack. So let's keep an eye here on the in-car camera as he still battles here Chad Stearns. As he comes outside turn number 4, he's going to go all the way up to the wall here. And let's keep an eye. We've seen him reach down a few different times. Yep, and there it is. He's going to shift right there into turn number 1. Let's watch the exit here of turn number 2. And there he is. He's going to shift again. So I would assume he's downshifting into turn number 1 there, getting some more speed, and then he's going to shift back up here on this long straightaway. We don't see him shifting here in turns 3 and 4. So Tyler, just 2 shifts here for Brody Gunther, but it's working so far tonight.
Yeah, it actually kind of surprises me because usually when I've competed against other drivers in these trucks before, usually you run about 4th gear for about half of the run, and then once the tires start falling off to the point where you're going to be bogging down on the RPMs in 4th, then you would shift down into 3rd. I'm actually surprised that he's shifting down to 3rd much earlier. Like turn 4 here, you're not losing enough momentum in RPM to where it forces you into 3rd, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some other drivers further back downshifting to 3rd once the tires are really falling off. And it's really surprises me that I'm seeing Brody using 3rd gear early, but you can see when he's shifting and downshifting to 3rd, he's kind of using a little bit of engine braking there, shifting up into higher RPMs to slow the truck even further, and it's working for him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chad Stearns is doing the same thing.
Yeah, now we're getting a good look here. Lucas Carver, as he's going to battle here underneath the 9. That's Chris Mackey. That's the battle for 12. And they're right on heels of Charlie Winder, Parker Donaldson, Kyle Zittel. You can throw a blanket over these drivers at the moment. A huge battle here. 4 positions. Really, that's the most action you're going to see on this racetrack right now. It starts with Jan Van Leer, who's up in 8th and goes all the way back here to Carver in 13th. So it's a hornet's nest for these positions at the moment. Up in front of Van Leer, excuse me. Up in front of Jan Van Leer is going to be Kyle Lockett tonight. As Kyle Lockett pilots his Toyota up into the 7th position as he tries to track down Matt Schlosser right now. So tracking lap 24 of 150 so far tonight. This race going pretty quick. For just joining us, no caution flags so far. These drivers really looking good here tonight as the lights coming on here at Gateway. And we'll finish this race under the lights.
These guys are having a really good battles all throughout the field, and seeing how everyone's playing there, everyone's just doing really well. I mean, I'm so impressed seeing how I'm kind of curious. I'm looking forward to seeing when things happen here, especially between Chad Stearns and Brody Gunther. I feel like Chad Stearns might be able to go a little bit further than Brody Gunther here. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I mean, Stearns is still running consistent lap times with Brody Gunther while everyone else is still falling off about a tenth to 2/10 of a second, or a tenth to 2/10 of a second lap times between these two. But I'm looking forward to see what Stearns has got for Gunther, because this is the first time I've seen Brody Gunther just being under fire and being consistently pressured as well.
Yeah, he's been pressured since the drop of the green flag, and we'll go through our top 10 at the moment. Obviously, Brody Gunther leads Chad Stearns here. A big gap back to Millfeld Jr., but he's going to have some company. Here comes Andy Palicki in the 4th position. It's John Kay in 5th. Matt Schlosser in 6th. You got Zach Lockett as well He's in this pack here, the second pack in 7th. And you got to go back here to Jan Van Leer. He's in the 8th position as he tries to fend off Kyle Zittel, who's in 9th, and Parker Donaldson, who is in the 10th position, as Charlie Widner, though, in 11th, tries to make a move on him here in turn 1.
Yeah, and he's looking to try to make some moves, but Zittel's having a much better
Oh,
exit
Zittel!
there.
He is, yeah, as soon as he said that,
there.
yeah, he's going to snap loose there. He's going to hold position, but, man, Kyle Zittel almost nearly went for a ride, and you know what? That was almost reminiscent of what we saw out of him last week. Remember, last week at Charlotte, right into the wall, and his race was over. So Kyle Zittel can't afford that again here. Tonight he's able to save it. Sorry to cut you off. And as he drives on here, the battle's still here between Donaldson and Widner.
Yeah, and I'm this is the other factor I see with how these tires are wearing out. Some of these drivers using third gear, the biggest thing that they're going to have to really work on is that throttle management as well. Throttle management's going to be real key when you're downshifting in the third. As these tires wear on, you're going to probably wear out the right rear more often, especially in 1 and 2. But whether or not you're going to still have grip, especially when you're trying to run flat out, or even maybe about quarter off throttle in 3 and 4, is going to be a big difference when it comes to trying to keep that right rear together and not having a blowout on you. So really good save there by Kyle as he scrapes the wall a little bit there as well. And then right behind him, Charlie Widner went to take avoiding action there, thinking that Donaldson was going to hit the wall. So these trucks are really starting to step out, especially these guys around mid-pack, around 10th and 11th. These guys are starting to really feel the effects of tire wear.
Yeah, they are. And while we have a minute, we'll go 11th through 20th here tonight. Charlie Widner still in 11th, has not found a way to get around Parker Donaldson. Now he's under attack by the number 9 SimSeats machine of Chris Mackey, who's up here in the top 12 tonight. Lucas Carver, he has not moved the positions on the scoring and timing chart from the drop of the green flag, the number 89, here in 13th, where he started tonight. Behind him, it's a guy we've seen up front a lot this year. So far, he's up 10 positions tonight. So not a great qualifying run for Hayden Palumbo, but he's one of the biggest movers so far, and we could expect him at some point tonight to battle up there in the top 10 as he looks to track down Carver, who's underneath Chris Mackey at the moment. Farther back, Paul Ellison. He's a man on the move as well, up to 15th at the moment, just ahead of Steve Vroman. Jack Watts here in the top 17th position for him. We got Joshua Rutherford back here in the 64 machine, just ahead of Brantley Gainey Jr., who is creeping into the picture and is under attack here from Garrett Rainey. That's your current top 20.
And everyone having some really good battles too, especially where Brantley Gainey is. He's got a hornet's nest behind him here too, especially with Josh Freed trying to make a move there on the 13 of Garrett Rainey and not able to make the move yet. But he is side by side, and it's going to have the preferred line going into 4 as long as he's able to keep the tires underneath him. And he's not going to have enough momentum, as it looks like now the 13's going to be able to hold a little bit more momentum, but that drive off is going to be just enough actually for the 13. So it looks like Garrett Rainey looks like that middle groove there in 3 and 4 is starting to really develop and develop quickly for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, it really is great battles throughout the whole field at the moment. We see another one right here on your screen between Freed and Rainey, like you alluded to. And it's Austin Holyfield a little bit farther back. He's creeped in the picture here in the number 10, as has the 69 here of Cole Maxwell. And these drivers battling here just outside the top 20 tonight. Tyler Berger, he's fallen 7 positions from the drop of the green flag. He's back here in 24th. Rodney Matney has held steady his starting spot tonight in a Dodge Ram. He's 25th. Corey Rutherford farther back. He's in 26th. Jordan Journal, a guy we've spoke a lot about this year. They come to contact a little bit farther back here. Jordan Journal in 27th. Your rookie Clef Dalfit in 28th. George Jackson tonight back here. He's in 29th. Eric Breeding at the moment is in 30th. And why not go through the rest of the field? Matt Williamson tonight is in 31st. And Corey Clark Jr., 32nd. And rounding out your 33 driver field here tonight, it's Gary Clark Jr.
We're already seeing a lot of gaps too now. First and second have almost a 4.5 second gap over the group of Milfelt Jr., Andy Palicki, John Kay, Matt Slauser, and Zach Lockett coming into the picture now. And then after Zach Lockett, you got another 4.5 second truck gap to 8th and 9th place of Jan Van Leer and Kyle Zittel. So the gaps are really spreading very quickly, and man, these guys are getting after it now, especially Andy Palicki's going to make a move on Milfelt Jr. now.
Yeah, battles all over the racetrack. Kind of hard to keep track of these, but here's the battle. Milfelt, the outside of K. They're nearly touching. Here comes Matt Slauser. Palicki's leading this group for the moment. Apologies for any camera work here tonight. Don't have a great camera pack. Thought I had it, but it's an old one, outdated. Doesn't really work here. And look at that. Milfelt's going to shoot out of a cannon here. And he will get almost near to the back bumper there. It's going to pull Slauser here on top as well. Milfelt loose. Battle back here. Here comes almost three wide here. Kay's going to have to settle in behind Slauser. Slauser might win this battle here to the outside of Milfelt. As Matt Slauser on the move right now. Milfelt's going to get, he's just kind of sticking it in too hard. Yeah, Milfelt's around. Ooh. He's into the wall. We stay green. Milfelt into the wall. He's slow. No caution flag. We stay green. And I was just going to say, it looked like he was getting a lot through the middle of this corner, but it's almost like he was putting too much throttle into it. He was not able to kind of roll the turn. And these other drivers right there, John Kay, Zach Glock, and Matt Slauser, what they were doing, they were getting a lot better runoff. It just looks like his tires were going from him there, and it kind of, crept up to him there. And, yeah, Michael Milfelt there. Tough break for him, but we do stay green. Man, these two at the front, Tyler, Gunther and Stearns, they have just been separated a truck length all night long.
Yep, and I'm keeping an eye on Milfelt. Milfelt's got some significant tire damage on the right front, especially after that impact. I would not be surprised if he tries to get into the pit soon to get that damage repaired, or he's probably hoping for a caution, but he is going to be falling like a rock right now. I think he might have some toe damage as well, because that truck is just, it's fighting with him in the corners immensely. But yeah, going back to Gunther and Stearns, they're pretty much the two trucks that are outclassing the rest of the field, and they are still, looking at lap times, they're still consistently 0.2 of a second faster. However, that positions 3 to 6 are actually starting to run the same lap times as them. So I'm kind of wondering if Gunther and Stearns are actually starting to slow up their pace ever so slightly now that they've got a huge gap, actually a 6-second gap over Palicki and Slauser, Kay, and Lockett.
Yeah, and we're already approaching the third way of this race. We're 9 laps away from 50. 150 lap race tonight. It's no yellow flag, so we're expecting some green flag stops here tonight at some point. Could really string this field out, and we've always seen those issues with green flag stops, especially at this racetrack, and it'll be unique for these drivers. Like you said, entering, I believe, in turn number 3, and have to come all the way around that apron area. Kind of reminiscent of Atlanta to an extent too. So I mean, yeah, and then you got the long run off as well. So that's these got to be on these drivers' minds as well with these possible green flag stops. You're going to need enough fuel. Going to need those 4 sets of Goodyear rubbers, and you're going to have to get off and running, because it's going to be tough if we go green tonight to catch these two at the front, and Gunther and Stearns. As Gunther starts to flex a little bit of muscle here on Chad Stearns late in this run. Man, look at this. These two exiting 4s. Andy Palicki's entering 3. He brings along Kay Slauser and Zach Lockett. So, not too much battling now here in the top 10.
Oh, and I'm seeing a lot of them. They're really slowing up the pace. I'm actually really surprised. Looks like I knew I should have gone and asked one of the drivers earlier on fuel strategy. Because every time I've ran these trucks, I feel like I've gone way less than 40 laps. So Wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised. I'm kind of curious now to see how far these goes. I feel like these drivers are going to have to do two stops, but who knows? They might end up proving me wrong later on the way these guys are running, because their lap times right now are starting to eclipse a 1.5 fall off now. Last lap time for Brody and Chad Stearns, both a 35.04. Stearns slows up a little bit there. I'm wondering if he got if his right rear is starting to really give out on him. But these guys already now, I'm looking at some other lap times. I'm keeping an eye on some other drivers, like John Kay is at a 35.1, Slaughter at 35.3, so the times are really slowing up. Hayden Palumbo, though, is running 35.3s, but he is catching up to some more drivers such as the likes of Charlie Widner. He's actually starting to also close up on Kyle Zittel and Jan Van Leer as well. So Hayden Palumbo up 14 spots from when he started this race, and he is just pretty much right now the class of the field when it comes to the long run strategy, because Hayden right now in the long runs has been doing very well.
Yeah, very well. He's been fast all season long. Right now he works on Parker Donaldson here. He'll have that spot fairly easy, it looks like. Now he'll work on Charlie Widner. So now Hayden Palumbo into the top 10. And, I would expect Hayden Palumbo to eventually, I think he wants this thing to run green for quite a while, Tyler, because it's really helping him out. If he can get to those green flag stops, maybe he can pick up a couple more spots. But I'd expect him to want to run green for a while and possibly get a caution here in the back half of the race to try to get that track position back on a restart and have a real good shot here tonight, getting not only into that top 5, but possibly battling Gunther and Stearns for the race win tonight, because he has been fast. 14 positions now, up from the starting spot, now 15th. And, man, he is just on the move.
Yep, and Matt Slaughter in the pits. I noticed Corey Rutherford and Jordan Journal in the pits. So pit stops are underway. Slaughter, one of the guys up in the top 10, first one coming into pits, and green flag pit stops are going to be starting to happen soon. So Matt Slaughter, your first truck out of the front 10 in the pits. John Kay, Zach Lockett now in the pits as well.
Yeah, host of trucks starting to come in. It always takes the first one. That's going to bring everyone else in. You do not want to give up too much time on old tires at this racetrack. I think that'll be a mistake. So I'd expect to see all these leaders coming in here in the next several laps. A long way down pit lane here for John Kay, Zach Lockett as they get into the box.
Yeah, I'm looking at Matt Slaughter's pit. Chad Stearns is now in the pit. Chad Stearns pitting from second place. I think he is going to be working on trying to do the undercut on Brody Gunther. Anthony Palicki stays out. Zittel, everyone else stays out. Keeping an eye on Matt Slaughter's pit stop. He had a 14.8 pit box, and then in the pit lane in general was a 47 seconds. So this is going to be very interesting to see how these guys play out. But right now, I'm keeping an eye on Slaughter's gap. And right now, he is 45-second gap to Brody Gunther. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this plays out when it comes to undercuts, especially Chad Stearns as well.
Yeah, I mean, here comes Andy Palicki down pit lane. Brody Gunther, your leader. We'll see. I would think he's going to come in this time, but I don't see why he would want to give up any track time with fresher tires, too. The man who was tracking him down all racing, Chad Stearns, does not look like the 01's going to come out in this time. Though he stays out. He's playing a little bit of the long game here tonight in the Foothills Broadband Ford, as Brody Gunther has a different plan, and that's to stay out.
I'm curious to see how much longer. I wonder if Brody's looking at trying to go in thirds, 50, 50, and 50, but we are working lap 51, so got me kind of curious to see how much farther he can push on fuel. Kyle Zittel, Hayden Palumbo, both in the pits. Joshua Rutherford, Brentley Gainey are all in the pits now. So pit stops are still continuing right now.
And Gunther stays out, and he's going to really make this a one-stop race from here. Everyone else is going to be a borderline. Now, that's all dependent on yellow flags, but you would think now, if he can make it to past lap 100, that would be his last stop. So Interesting here because we've seen some trucks come in much earlier, and you'd expect some of those drivers still have to make 2 stops tonight. We watch them down the backstretch all alone here, and wow, he is still out there. It does not look like he's going to even come this time by.
Yeah, I'm curious because it's like, even if you try to split it half and half, we have 150 laps, which means that Brody would be needing to pit on lap 75. I don't know if there's enough fuel in the tank to go, let's say we're working lap 53 now, so that's another 22 laps that Brody would have to run. I don't know if that's going to be possible enough. I mean, Charlie Whitner, Parker Donaldson all in the pits now. I mean, Brody's got a big enough gap where he's got a 14-second gap over Lucas Carver. However, I'm keeping an eye on Chad Stearns. Chad Stearns is now 38 seconds behind Brody Gunther. Brody Gunther is still a lap ahead of him. His caution is out. Rodney Matney around. Oh man, that changed everything.
Well, that's definitely is going to change a lot here. You know, my calculations were telling me, for at least for Gunther, that, you know, he's working lap 53, 54. That even if he came in the next couple laps, he would have to pit a little bit over 100, but he'd be able to make it all the way to 150. So I think he was looking at it like, hey, I only have to make 2 stops this whole race. But now, obviously, this is all going to change. Brody Gunther out front. Rodney Matney had spun. We'll go back to the replay here in a minute, as Brody Gunther will now hit pit lane for the first time tonight.
Yep, and the amazing part is Brody Gunther lapped all the way to 10th positions. Chad Stearns will get the lucky dog, so only 11 trucks are going to be on the lead lap. Everyone else that's going to stay out is going to get a wave around. But the top 10, Brody Gunther, Lucas Carver, Paul Ellison, Watts, Freed, Milfelt Jr., who has damage that he's going to be able to repair, Rainey, Hollifield, Vrooman, Berger, are all going to be on the freshest tires compared to everyone else from Gary Clark Jr. all the way back. Chad Stearns will also have fresh tires if he wants to be in the lucky dog. But I believe, if I double check here on the sets, we have 4 sets of tires in the pits as well. So I don't know if Chad Stearns is going to want to use another set or not, and then leave him with 2 sets left. But with the way the situation played out, he was essentially was able to save a set on that long green flag run.
Yeah, this is wild with Brody Gunther obviously putting all these guys, a lap down with that. And wow, it's just a big turn of events here with the timing of that caution flag. And we're going to go back here and find the cause of the first caution tonight. Now, let's keep an eye on here. Randy Matney Jr. is in the 83 Moser Racing machine tonight. And I believe it's going to be all kind of by himself here. I don't see any trucks around him.
Just loses it all on his own. Coming out of 4, I think he just probably got on the throttle too hard. He did come out of the pits back on lap 50, so he was on cold tires and brand new tires. So I'm wondering if he just turned the wheel a little too hard in 3 and 4, and maybe got on the throttle a little too heavy there as well, and just spun himself around. So really unfortunate there.
Yeah, unfortunate there, and unfortunate for a lot of the drivers. That would have been interesting, obviously, to see if this would have got ran all the way out. It looked like a lot of drivers, though, taking the wave around, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, everyone from, looks like Steve Vrooman, which is in 10th, all the way down to Cole Maxwell is all taking the wave around. So, gonna be very interesting here. Gary Clark Jr., by the way, did stay out and did not pit. So I'm wondering if Gary Clark Jr., who he was running a lap down at one point, I think he's going to try to take advantage of hoping that there's another quick caution potentially. But this is going to get very interesting with this restart, because there's going to be a lot of drivers going to be running single file here.
Yeah, the base truck light should go out here this time by. We'll have 1 lap to go. before we go green here at World Wide Technology. This will be the second restart since the drop of the green flag here tonight. So, and you see a lot. Wow, look at that. There's not going to be that many trucks, I don't believe, in the outside lane. We're going to see a ton of trucks, though, here in the inside lane. And, man, it'll be a lot of guys buried pretty deep here. If we get a long run here, it's going to be a lot different. Those guys have several laps on their tires compared to all these drivers up front. And that should be a big difference here. All these guys have a much better chance here to start pulling away from some of these drivers here tonight. Just a great timed caution for these guys that had stayed out on the racetrack. Look at Jack Watts. He's up to 4th. Paul Ellison up here in the top 5. Garrett Rainey, Austin Holyfield, Tyler Berger. We were talking to them back in the 20s when we went through the field. So a big turn of events here as Brody Gunther, the 01, will take the green flag here with the 89 of Lucas Carver as the pace truck going to hit pit lane in just a second. It's going to turn on off, and here we go as drivers coming outside turn number 4 as they approach the restart zone. We are off. Brody Gunther, a big jump here on the outside.
Huge jump right off the bat, and everyone else further back just had some hit and misses on restarts, but man, Brody's going to be loving this now, especially on fresh tires, and the top 10 are going to be loving this too. Is already that top 10 that got the freshest tires from that caution. They're already a second gap over the drivers that pitted, that had to stay out and take the wave around. So already a huge gap on the right off the bat, and even further back they are really battling hard there as Slaughter's trying to work his way up.
Yeah, Matt Slaughter trying to work his way up. He's in 11th at the moment. He's battling with Steve Roman. He's battling as well with John Kay. Big battles here. Zach Lockett, Andy Palicki. Oh, one up the racetrack. It's Charlie Widner. I believe it was the 8 truck there that got into him.
Man.
Oh, it's just craziness here on the backstretch. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
big moves here out of the 9 of Chris Mackey all the way to the up the track. Oh, Kyle Siddle's going to almost hit the number 11. The High Rock Machine, trying to see who that is. I believe that's Clark. I mean, wow, these drivers all over the place right now at Gateway.
Yeah, Corey Clark's like a lap down, trying to do everything he can as well. But yeah, it had a huge check up there. And then even with the 8 there of, I believe that was Gary Clark Jr. just struggling on the super old tires. I think Clark was hoping for a caution. That's not going to work. Meanwhile, we're 3 wide further up with Slaughter getting a huge push from John Kay, able to make the pass on the number 7 of George Jackson, who was a lap down. But huge momentum there for Matt Slaughter getting around Steve Fruman. John Kay's now going to get a run on Steve Fruman there, side by side, coming to start-finish line.
Yeah, talk about the Darlington stripe, man. There's a stripe a lot of these drivers are getting here at World Wide Technology Raceway. Coming out of turn number 4, even coming out of turn number 2, you see the wall, and they got a lot of black streaks on the wall there. A lot of these drivers, especially out of turn 4, they are scraping that with every inch here on this racetrack. Moore doing the same here. And it just kind of sticks out there with that saber barrel. One hard into the wall. I believe that was Widner, man. Yeah, it's just nonstop. I just think they're coming out of that turn and kind of forgetting about that safer barrier. It turns, kind of sticks out, goes back in, and it's wreaking havoc on the right side of these trucks.
Yeah, it's wreaking havoc big time, and especially with these guys that are on the slightly older tires are really trying to push hard to try to get any kind of pace right now. As I mean, with these top 10 able to get everything they can. I mean, there's a battle now for second with Paul Ellison and Lucas Carver right now as well, and these guys are up. Paul Ellison up 20 positions from when he started. Lucas Carver up 10. You got Jack Watts up 15. Josh Freed up 22. It's pretty much all of those guys that stayed out when that did not pit yet when the caution came out are all have moved up double-digit positions from when they started. I mean, Austin Holyfield started 28. He's up to 8. So already out of those drivers, you've got 3 of them up 20 positions from the start of this race.
Yeah, it's really crazy how this race is flipped on that caution, and a lot of these drivers going to need a caution kind of to get back in this thing. and get back on the same page as those drivers. But even when they do, they're still going to be stuck behind them. And that's the big difference here so far tonight. Brody Gunther, though, now a big lead over 2 seconds back to Paul Ellison and Lucas Carver as he starts setting sail in this clean air. Don't forget, this is the Arches of Power Pull for Pigeons 150, Season 11 here in the Venom Truck Series. Race number 9 of 15 of the regular season as these drivers fighting for a berth in the Chase playoffs here in Season 11. And while we're talking about Season 11, why not talk about that schedule here at the Venom Truck Series next week? A little bit changed for next week. Actually, I will not be on the call. I will be over doing the call for Grindstone, the championship over there, filling in for Austin Green. So I believe Tyler will be working with someone else. I think they're going to try to do it on PGR's network. And at least we do have a backup option. I do need to go over there and take care of Austin Green and the series he's called all season long. It will be their championship here next Tuesday. But don't worry, you'll still be covered here over in Venom, and we'll make sure we get that info out to everyone as soon as possible. But next week, the series will head to Nashville Super Speedway. And it'll be a dust tonight race there. It's the Sling and Crete 150, presented by Light Moon LLC, and that'll be a military theme next Tuesday night. After that, we'll get into the month of June. It'll be Dover Motor Speedway. And that's the Venom's Night of Stars All-Star Open, 50 laps. And then the Venom's Night of Stars All-Star Race for 100 laps. So looking forward to the All-Star Race. And after that, it's the Irish Hills 180. It's Michigan International Speedway. It'll be 2 days after I get home from Michigan. And that'll be a fun one, 90 laps in the daytime. And then we'll head over to Myrtle Beach, and we're looking forward to that. We were seeing it was going to be Hickory, and they had a change of plans for that. Now going to be Myrtle Beach for 200 laps. Chicagoland returns in June for June 23rd, and June will end over at Richmond. And July 7th, it's the last regular season race. The Corn squeeze into 125 from Darlington, 125 laps there. And after that, it's the chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup. And it looks like 5 races to decide the chase for the championship. And the guy we expect to be battling for that championship, still out front here, is Brody Gunther.
Yeah, Brody Gunther's up to almost to a 3-second lead over Paul Ellison, who was able to make the move on Lucas Carver and fully pull away. And that gaps have actually been increasing a little bit. But the biggest news, though, I mean, Slaughter's starting to catch up to Tyler Bergen, but the big factor, everyone that has pitted on the caution back on lap 54 are still up in the front. The only one that has really fallen off has been Michael Milfeld Jr., who has fallen to 11th. But all the other drivers that got the fresh tires are still sitting up in the top 8 positions. Matt Slaughter right now started in 9th. He's currently sitting in 9th, getting some help from John Kay as they're finally starting to catch Tyler Berger here. Whether or not they're going to have any kind of tires to be able to make him a factor, it's going to be interesting. But here goes John Kay looking on the inside here of Matt Slaughter.
Yeah, Kay underneath Slaughter here. It's a battle on the racetrack for the 9th position here. Tyler Berger right in front of them. So that's a lot of single file still action here throughout this pack. Let's go farther back here. We're seeing a battle, I believe, Charlie Widner here, Jan Van Leer. Jan Van Leer down 5 spots. Hayden Palumbo, remember him? We were talking about him, Man on the Move. He's still up 9 positions in 15th. Caution did not time out great for him, but still, nonetheless, he's made up quite a few spots here tonight. Still has the chance if we get another one. Kyle Zittel trying to work here on the number 7 machine. That's George Jackson, I believe, who is a lap down. So, Kyle Zittel's going to be a huge hard left down there and try to get underneath the 7 here. He wants to move forward and waste no time. He'll try to work the bottom of the racetrack here. And pushes the 7 up just a bit. And Paul Ellison here, he's still hanging on to 2nd ahead of Lucas Carver. Man, these drivers all the way 2nd through 8th, man. What a break for them here tonight. That is for sure.
Yeah, big break, especially with how these drivers are also. And actually, right now I'm starting to notice on the lap times, we're starting to see the tire wear coming into effect again for those drivers that had to stay out and take the wave around. I mean, Austin Holyfield right now in 7th, up 21 positions now, and he's starting to pull away from the Tyler Berger and Matt Slozer, who he's actually trying to catch up and could potentially give a battle here to Garrett Rainey and Josh Reed, who are also nose to tail of each other as well. So we're already starting to see a little bit of gaps now from these drivers that took the fresh tires, but at the same time, Brody Gunther still has a 3.5, actually 4-second lead over Paul Ellison, and Ellison's running 0.3 of a second slower than Brody Gunther right now. So it already just shows how big the tire wear is here at Gateway, and just the struggles as Ellison, I just noticed, got a little bit of a wiggle, as well as Jack Watts further behind. Caution is out as well. John Kay is in the wall.
Caution out for the second time here tonight. John Kay, as you said, into the wall. We'll go back here and look at that.
Got help from Andy Palicki there.
Oh, yeah, Andy Palicki right there underneath Kay. It's going to turn him here. Right in front of Lockett, I believe.
Oh, Milfeld Jr. What a save there.
Yeah, unbelievable save. Look at that. A couple saves. I mean, does he hold it off this wall? Unbelievable.
I think he even got a tap from this. I think he got a tap from the 7 too while trying to avoid it. That should have easily been a nose going straight into that Armco safer barrier. But man, what a save there from Milfeld, because that could have ended his night.
Yeah, we just watched his in-car camera there for Milfeld, and what a save for him. It's John Kay now. Stays out here on the racetrack, and here come your leaders down pit lane.
Ooh, and the interesting part too, caution came out right at lap 75, so Brody Gunther is giving up some points here, depending on when he gets to the line. Brody Gunther's going to just barely get 7th place points here with that caution, actually, I've noticed. So there's going to be a few change-ups here with that stage point, but interesting there to see who all decided to stay out and who decided to pit, and Brody Gunther using, I believe now, will be his 2nd set of tires.
Yeah, and you see a lot of these drivers down pit lane, and like you said, it's just a lot of strategy with how these stage points fly, but Gunther's thinking about the long game tonight. He wants to be victorious and head to victory lane here tonight. He'll win the race off pit lane, and we're just past halfway. We'll take our first break here tonight, live on the PGR eSports Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here at Gateway. Back here live at Gateway, green flag back in the air as Paul Ellison is your leader. He'll take that green flag ahead of Lucas Carver, who's battling here with Josh Freed, as well as Garrett Rainey, John Kay, your current top 5. Caution back out here on the racetrack.
And that was Joshua Rutherford getting turned there, hitting the outside wall. Actually, no, just looped it all on his own. I rewinded it back real quick, cold tires, and just pancaked the wall. I did also notice too, Brody Gunther way in the back. I believe Brody Gunther got a speeding penalty during that during the caution pits, during the pit stops during that caution. So Brody Gunther sitting in 24th position.
Wow, that's a big turn of events as well. It's going to bring a lot of players up and into this race. We'll go back here and watch the caution flag fly here. Keep an eye on the pink car, the 64 of Josh Rutherford.
Yeah, you can just see Rutherford just going in the corner. Looked like everything was going fairly well, and maybe had a little bit of aero push from the rear, because these trucks do have a little bit of aero push, even being very close up, and it was just enough that Joshua didn't take into account and got on the throttle too early, and around he goes, and just a hard hit into the outside wall there, driver's side first. Right now working lap 80. Got 70 laps to go here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. We're gonna have a big developing story with Brody Gunther, I believe, and I'll have to double check on it and fact check it. Brody Gunther having a speeding penalty during the caution, and he's going to be, looks like, restarting 23rd position when we get back to green flag action. So very interesting to see how this plays out for Brody Gunther.
It stops ending for a few of these drivers here tonight. Third caution flag of the night. Spoke about Brody Gunther here. He is back in 23rd. So, man, we'll see how he does in traffic. We'll see how fast that 01 is here tonight. Paul Ellison is your current leader, just ahead of Lucas Carver, Josh Freed, Garrett Rainey, and John Kay. As we will take the 1 to go signal here this time by, and just a little bit ago, Ty, looked like we were going to go green a lot tonight, and here we go. Drama starting to unfold here.
Yep, especially when it goes around a really big popular name right now that has been running away with a lot of races this season with Brody Gunther, and it's a lot of drivers that he's going to have to push his way through, especially going to be restarting on the inside lane here in 23rd, and he's going to be one to watch out for. Chad Stearns, the other driver as well, he's ended up able to catch a lucky breakdown with that caution too. He is going to be restarting on, looks like, the outside in 18th. So both of those drivers are going to be coming from a ways back to try to make a push to get back up to the front here, as we have, I believe, 7 trucks staying out on old tires that did not pit on lap 75.
And here we go. Lucas Carver here, going to start on the inside. You see him here with his onboard.
Michael Milfeld Jr. here spun out, trying to catch back up to the field. So
I think we're going to put the caution lights back on here.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just looking back real quick. Got back on the throttle in 1 and 2 and just looped it back around. So already just a rough day, gotten even rougher for Michael Milfeld Jr., down 25 positions from where he initially started at in 4th position. So not been a good run here for Michael Milfeld after that first incident that he got caught up in, where he hit the outside wall hard. Pretty decent start there, too, for Paul Ellison, and it's going to help Garrett Rainey trying to get enough momentum there. Going in the corner, though, you could already just see some of the trucks sliding. 39 and Josh Freed getting on the inside of Lucas Carver, and we got a caution already out.
Caution starting to breed cautions here. Yellow flag back out. Fourth caution flag now.
Gary Clark Jr. had to check him hard, slammed into the back of Steve Ruman, and then 83 comes and cleans him out right there on the start as they were getting into turn 1.
Yeah, restart's starting to become difficult for some of these drivers here. Obviously, a lot of different strategies, different tire sets, and right now, just a lot of calamity on these restarts, and we just cannot get going at the moment. Watch here. There's what Tyler was alluding to there, and yeah, Rodney Matney just comes in. He kind of, or the 8 truck, I should say, if that's Matney.
Gary Clark Jr.
Gary Clark Jr., yeah.
Or Gary Clark, I should say, yeah.
Look at this, and Milfelt has to be Houdini again, and he nearly gets into that.
Yeah, I feel for Milfeld, because I would not be surprised if Milfeld's like, okay, are we done? I don't need any more damage. Let me just run away from some people now. It's like, this has already been a rough night for me. I would not be surprised if that's his thought process right now, because man, after having a great run and a great qualifying, just to have this situation happen, man, I feel for Milfeld.
Well, we'll take a quick break here. We'll be right back. We'll see if we can get things back and going here at Gateway. Back here live at Gateway. Drivers set to go back to the green flag here. Paul Ellison, Lucas Carver again. And we'll finally see if we can get some green flag racing in. These restarts are becoming treacherous for these drivers. As the fourth caution flag set to end here. And we'll find out now if we can get back going here. Ellison on the outside. He chooses that high lane of the restart zone. Green flag back in the air.
Another big start there for Ellison. Meanwhile, the 89 is getting shoved by Josh Freed there. Coming to the line, Freed checks up a little bit for Lucas Carver. But everyone's still running pretty decent right now. Everyone's still hanging on, but we are 2 by 2 from 5th way on back.
Yeah, chaotic restarts here at Gateway. Track position obviously vital at this racetrack. John Kay under the 13. He's going to make the 13 wash up just a bit. That's Garrett Rainey fighting for position there. Kay looks to get it. It's going to cross up here onto the right in front of him here. He'll get that position. Slosser now to the inside here. I believe that's Holyfield as he fights for position as well. 2 by 2. Now 3 wide in turn number 1.
Yeah, and these guys are going really at it now. Brody Gunther way on the inside lane, trying to get some momentum. Gets a little loose there on the fight coming out. And look at Chad Stearns going 3 wide. They are both going to go 3 wide on the 74 there. Parker Donaldson, who's going to lift. Brody Gunther sends it into the corner. Chad Stearns checks up a little bit, but he might make
turns
contact
the
with
74.
Parker Donaldson.
No, the 74
and he's able
holds
to
it.
hang on to it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, hang on to it. And they are both still running side by side. Stearns and Brody Gunther, as they are fighting to get up to the front of this field. And here goes the 95 sending it in deep. They are still 3 wide further up. Charlie Winter getting a run in.
Did you see that? Wow.
Stearns able to hang on to it.
I think he got into Gunther there.
It's got to be because, I mean, Gunther's still getting a huge run, making the run on the outside lane on Jack Watts. Here's Stearns trying to get back in it. These guys are throwing haymakers at each other, and they're only in the top 15.
We're watching the replay here. Watch Stearns in the middle. And Brody Gunther here fighting for position. Oh, yeah, Stearns, he just got loose coming off the turn. And Gunther's going to set sail just a little bit on him. Unbelievable racing here at Gateway.
Yeah, the wicker's been turned up. These guys are going full aggressiveness now, just with how these guys are running. I mean, there's still a lot of time. There is still one more pit stop needed as we're working starting lap 91, 90 complete. There are 60 laps to go in this race, and seeing how some of these guys are able to run about 50 laps before needing to come to the pits, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some guys pit early, especially those guys up front, as Chad Stearns gets back in front of Brody Gunther. Stearns sends it on the inside there of Garrett Rainey. Brody Gunther following right behind him. Still 2 by 2 further up as John Kay is leading that little pack. Everyone within a blanket of each other from first all the way down to about 20th, all within about 3 seconds of each other. Man's Lockett. Zach Lockett, I was seeing there getting a little loose further up in front, right behind Matt Slaughter there. Hayden Colombo's in the mix as well, and 6 trying to get a run. And we got a caution now. Joshua Rutherford around. Joshua Rutherford's second time that he has gone around, and actually got some help there by Corey Clark, the rookie, just getting a little bit more momentum, and it was a slight little touch too from what I'm seeing, but it was enough to get him to fence around.
Unfortunate too, because man, we've seen some awesome racing on that green flag run, and really, I mean, it's anyone's to win now. I mean, you look at your current leader Paul Ellison, you go back to Brody Gunther even in 13th. I mean, you see Chad Stearns now, he's actually really been quicker here on that last run than Brody Gunther in traffic. So, I mean, you could pick any of those drivers there in the top 13 who might win this race here tonight.
Oh, 100%. I mean, especially with how some of these guys are going. I mean, look at it this way too. I'm going to be curious to see if these guys that stayed out back on last pitted back on lap 47 and 54, are they going to come into the pits? And we do have Garrett Rainey coming into the pits.
Your leader's in as well, Paul Ellison.
John Kay, the only one that stayed out that last pitted on lap 47.
Brody Gunther, Chad Stearns, they're going to stay out. So now we're going to flip this race once again here, as strategies just all different here tonight.
Yep, and these guys, this is the money stop, I feel like, for these guys. They can make it all the way to the end now that we're under 50 laps. If these guys want to really fuel save, they can fuel save and make it to the end. Looks like we're going to probably restart with about 45 to go. So it's right there on the window that these guys can, if they really want to, can run flat out. Because we've seen that first start of the race where drivers were making it to lap 46 before pitting. So this is right in that window of being able to make it all the way to the end.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we saw Brody Gunther, he was staying out. We don't even know how many laps he was going to go. But he was tracking 5 laps, and it looked like he still had some gas left in the tank. So this could be it here for tonight. John Kay, your new leader. And guess who? Hayden Palumbo, 22 spots up to second.
Yep, a really amazing run there for Hayden Palumbo. John Kay has me it has me interested. He's last pitted on lap 47. I wonder if he's hoping that there's going to be one more caution to where he saves that set of tires. I don't know how many sets of tires he still has left, but he's only gone into the pits once, meaning that meaning that we have 4 sets available, so he should still have 3 sets in the pits available. I'm wondering if John's hoping for one more caution. John comes into the pits and he's going to have the freshest tires out of everyone to try to make a run too. That's going to be my interesting there for him. See what he's going to be able to pull off here, whether or not we get another early caution or not.
Well, here we go again. John K. Palumbo. We've seen some restarts here in the back half of this race here tonight. And it is far from over, and we have a long way to go to decide this one because, man, really the action has been heating up, and that's why you come to watch these races. You just never know. Andy Plicky back here now in 15th. He's down 9 spots in the 32 here tonight. You see him on here. And his dog getting some TV time. I believe dog or cat, hard to see in the background, but Andy Plicky, always great carrying that VR. As we go back up front, John K. set to take green flag here with Hayden Palumbo as the pace truck hits pit lane once again. Off turn 4, fans on their feet. It's crunch time here at Gateway. Green flag in the air.
A huge jump for John K as well. Great jump, as well as Hayden Palumbo is side by side there with Jan Van Leer, and they were able to throw him an big wreck. No one wrecking. Chad Stearns had a huge slow up. What happened here? Oh, Kyle Zittel and Chad Stearns got sideways. I'm surprised there was a quick caution.
Yeah, Zittel washes up just a bit. Stearns is... Yeah, Kyle Zittel's going to turn Stearns, and I think, yeah, you got to throw it there. Stearns is going to back up into the wall, and you just don't know if another truck's going to kind of pile in at that point. And Stearns kind of bounced off the wall, and luckily for the other drivers, they were just, Carver barely misses him, as does Matt Schlosser. So, well, that was one we were just talking about. Had a shot here tonight. He was strong early. We'll watch this again from the chopper view. And keep an eye on Kyle Zittel there. 53 underneath the 05 of Chad Stearns. And this is coming into turn number 1. Well, you know what? I'd say racing incident. It looks like Stearns starts to turn down. Zittle's barely moves up. I think that's right there. It's going to be a racing incident as the 05 backs up into the fence to bring out another caution flag here tonight. 6 cautions now after a fairly clean first half of this race, as Hayden Palumbo took the lead before that yellow. And man, we said he had a chance here tonight, and boy, does he ever now.
And it's actually, he took the lead from John Kane going into the pits. So John K, Chad Stearns, and Michael Milfeld Jr. all comes into the pits. Michael Milfeld Jr. is going to get more damage repairs done. But John K and Chad Stearns are going to be the 2 drivers that are pitting now during this caution, which is going to be about a 3-lap difference on tires. Granted, most of these drivers did not really get up the full song when the caution came out. So everyone's going to be on fresh tires now, and it's going to be interesting to see how John K is going to be able to do coming way back in 27th position.
Yeah, some of these drivers just, gonna have to deal with a lot of lap traffic, and it's getting crunch time here. You do not want to be mired back in positions here. Track position super important now, here at Gateway. As we ride here with the back camera view of Hayden Palumbo looking back here to Jan Van Leer as these drivers get set to line up for the restart. And as all the leaders have tonight, Hayden Palumbo chooses the outside lane, and he'll have Kyle Zittel now behind him. So Kyle Zittel up here in the top 4.
Yeah, and Zittel's having a really good momentum there as well. So I'm looking forward to see how that plays out for him because, man, it's going to be a fun, interesting restart here.
It sure is. Palumbo to the outside, Jan Van Leer to the inside. In third, It's Zach Lockett, 4th. Kyle Zittel. Brody Gunther now in 5th. And in 6th, it's Charlie Widner.
These guys are going to get really interesting here. Looking further down, you got Steve Ruman in the top 10. Clef Dalfit, the rookie going to be in 9th or 10th as well. So Matt Slosher down in 17th. You got Garrett Rainey down in 19th. Going to be very interesting here on the restart.
Well, here we go. And Hayden Palumbo, he'll have clean air for the first time here tonight off turn number 4. He'll get that jump if he wants it. Kyle Zittel looking to give him a nudge. And here he goes. Hayden Palumbo, a big jump here on this restart. Kyle Zittel now to the outside of the 5. 5 of Jan Van Leer. We'll see if he can make it work. A big run off. Kyle Zittel up to 2nd.
Yep, and Jan Van Leer had to make a little bit of a check up there, but Jan's got a little bit better start there. Hayden Palumbo knows that he needs to run away because Brody Gunther's only in 6th, and Brody's got a fast truck, and he is going to be trying to work his way up through this field very quickly as well. But Hayden Palumbo's already up to half a second lead. Jan Van Leer is able to get back around Zittel, and no, don't look behind you. Brody Gunther up to 5th, and he is getting a momentum on Zach Lockett and Parker Donaldson here on the inside lane.
Yeah, Zittel now under pressure. Jan Van Leer around him up to 2nd. Ooh, it's going to be a scrape off the wall, I believe, of Lockett. Gunther underneath Widner. That's going to be for the 4th position. Nobody wants Brody Gunther all the way up here, but here he comes. The Foothills Broadband 01. The Ford is on the move. He's going to slide job up in front of Widner. Off turn number 4. He's got 4th.
Yep, and he's running slightly slower lap times than Hayden Palumbo. But even then, as they came across the line, the top 4, all 33.7s. So everyone's starting to realize they need to run a lot faster than Brody Gunther, and these guys are really pushing the issue now. As a lot of further battling further back now, we still got some 2 wide action with Steve Ruman and Brantley Gainey Jr. side by side going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, battles now throughout in Tyler. Now less than 50 laps to go here at Gateway. It's truly crunch time, and every position is going to matter, especially for the points. Here's the 48. What a race for Clef Dalfit, the rookie, up 20 positions, now battling inside the top 10 as he is around Berger. He's now going to set his sights set on Brantley Gainey Jr. Can the rookie do it tonight here in the Marlboro? Number 48 looking strong here. Clef Dalfit late in this race.
Yeah, this is some big momentum here. He scrapes the wall a little bit there. There was a few other trucks that also slapped the outside wall. Clef Dalfit, though, trying to keep that momentum. Going to see if he can try to catch up to some of the other people. And oh man, Charlie Widner had a huge moment. Oh wow, yeah, Charlie Widner further up had a huge moment in front of Brody Gunther. Got sideways, actually had a tap from Zach Lockett and was able to save it. That could have been disastrous for a few people.
Well, he does save it, and that's all that matters for now. Brantley Gainey Jr. up to 8th. It's Chris Mackey now back to the starting spot of 7th tonight. Parker Donaldson ahead of him is in 6th. Zach Lockett up to 5th at the moment. And these 3 battling hard on the racetrack. Brody Gunther almost makes contact here with Kyle Zittel. He's going to go all the way to the white line. Come back up. He's underneath. On the door of Zittel now. They're going to race here into turn number 3. Zittel's get some run, but here goes Gunther. He's got the mojo now as he is going to try to complete this pass on Zittel. Might not do it here until he gets down into turn number 1. And he's going to also go after Jan Van Leer. He's going to throw it in on the bottom of the racetrack. Here he comes, Brody Gunther now. It looks like he might be able to slide up in front of Zittel. Oh, no, he's turned by Zittel. Caution flag is out. A big one. Kyle Zittel wasn't letting him have it.
There's more wrecking behind. Tyler Burgeon also got turned from checking up. But, boy, that was... And Brody Gunther still rolling backwards, trying to get himself turned back around. And he is able to get back moving. But, boy, that was scary. That could have been a disastrous wreck for a lot of people.
You see them both here on the screen. Wow, we got to go back here because we're going to have to see who causes this one. And I'll tell you what, looking from my angle at first, it looked like Zittel just didn't want to give him the spot, but we're going to see it here. And yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't think he was clear enough to make that move to get in front of Zittel. Zittel was racing hard as he should. Let's go back. I want to get in a little bit better camera angle here if I can.
And from what I'm hearing over the radio, Brody was already apologizing to Zittel because he thought he was clear up enough because he didn't have the spotter didn't say was especially a lot of these drivers still using the iRacing spotter. Did not have a call that he was clear, and he just came up enough just running the regular line, didn't realize Zittel had enough momentum and made contact. Brody was apologizing to Zittel there, but Brody's going to more than likely also get the end of line penalty for that cause of caution, but could have been a lot worse for a lot of drivers.
Yeah, I think you got to put that one on Gunther. I think he's right to apologize. You know, it looked like Zittel could have given him a little break, but why? They're racing hard here in the last 50 laps, and, you know, he wanted to make him earn it. And, you know, it looked like Gunther needed to stay side by side there with him a little bit longer, try to make the pass in turns 3 and 4. Zittel, a tough and hard-nosed racer, didn't want to give it to him, and he had that right. But now, man, that's damage for Zittel, damage for Gunther, and that really changes everything. And now I believe Zach Lockett somehow the lead here in tonight's race.
Yeah, kind of wild too, especially now. I mean, you even got Clef Dalfit there up to second. Andy Pilecki, Matt Slosher there in fourth. Lucas Carver, your top 5. So it's like this race has just put like all of the top guys just all of a sudden now you pretty much flip an hourglass, it seems like, and all the guys that have been right around halfway mid pack all of a sudden are up in the front, and this is going to just cause this is going to be some interesting racing with these 40 laps left to go, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so am I here. Now we could have a new winner here on the season, that's for sure. Zach Lockett trying to go to victory lane here for the first time. Clef Dalfit, rookie, can he get to victory lane? And now here comes in third, it's Andy Pilecki. And man, it's just anyone's race to win now. And you got Slosser, though. He is a seasoned vet here. We'll see if he gets the victory lane as well. We are, lights out here on the pace truck. Looking forward to this one. 7 caution flags, though. And man, for a while, it didn't look like we were going to get too many, Tyler. And all of a sudden, a lot of cautions here late in this race.
Yeah, a lot of cautions, and that changed up the field immensely too with everything that happened. Zittel was able to get all of his damage repaired too, so Zittel will be sitting in 18th as well on fresh tires. But oh boy, this is gonna get wild here with the way this is gonna play out. Zach Lockett, Clef Dalfit, last pitted on lap 75. Everyone else is pitted from lap 93 on back. So get ready. This is gonna get really intense these last 40 laps.
Well, you know what? It's intense, and no better time here than a NASCAR Crank It Up here on a Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series. Let's get it on. We are closing in on tonight's checkered flag as the green flag is back in the air. Caution as we come off the NASCAR Crank It Up. Caution flag back out for an accident here farther back in the field.
Donaldson just had the same situation, and he goes to try to J-turn it, and Gary Clark Jr. just slams into the right rear of Parker Donaldson, and that's going to really hurt the rear axle there for Parker Donaldson. oh man, about five, about five cars, 5 trucks roughly. But man, that could have been a lot more cars. It looks like it started 2 with Parker Donaldson and the 11 of Corey Clark. Actually, further up, like Corey Clark and Kyle Zittel, a 3 wide situation, and just Corey Clark checks up and just got himself loose all on his own afterwards.
Yeah, you see it there. Zittel just trying to make his way back up front. Yeah, 11's going to come down off that wall. Getting a Donaldson here. Widner. Looks like he might escape this one. Man, Milfeld, he gets to this one again, but man, he has been just around everything tonight. He's been a magnet. Jack Watts going to go all the way down, as is Mackey. As you see Donaldson there, backwards on the racetrack. And another caution, man. These guys just fighting for every inch here tonight.
Yep. And this has just got really interesting with the way this is going. I'm keeping an eye, too, on Brody Gunther. Gunther back in the pits for more repairs. That splitter is still broken there on the right front, but I think this caution might end up helping Brody Gunther getting fully repaired. I'm going to keep an eye on that, see how much longer he's got left to get that repaired. But if he can get that repaired, that's going to be another big contender that could easily get back up to the front of the field.
Well, speaking of the front of the field, it's still Zach Lockett who leads Matt Schlosser. Schlosser might now be one of the favorites here tonight. Lucas Carver as well. He's up to third. Andy Palicki up to fourth. Josh Freed in fifth. And sixth is John Kay. Steve Roman is in seventh. Paul Ellison, 8th. Austin Holyfield, 9th. And Jordan Jornal up to 10th. So that's your current top 10. So still anyone's race to win here tonight, as I believe we'll get the one to go signal once again here at Gateway.
Yep, and 1 to go, and this is gonna get, and we're gonna see more and more of these starts where these guys are really gonna start fighting hard. I'll be curious to see how much more these guys are gonna fight, but it's pretty much now go time the rest of this way, and the laps are counting down. These guys are gonna start getting more and more aggressive as this race goes on. Brody Gunther back out on track after getting his repairs done. Still has some right front damage. Don't know how much he's got left, but if he can get that fully repaired, that truck's going to be nice and clean for him. But that splitter has still got an immense amount of damage on it.
We'll see what Lockett has here on this restart. A big one here for him. 8th caution flag set to end here.
Yep, as we got now Matt Schlosser sitting there in second. Pace Truck's going to be pulling off here. Your defending champ, Matt Schlosser, who's sitting in second in points, sitting a little bit here, waiting for Zach Lockett to jump as Zach Lockett chooses the outside lane again for the restart.
And high above the Goodyear blimp, let's watch this restart. Zach Lockett on the top, Schlosser on the bottom. Carver's trying to get to his back bumper. A big start here for Zach Lockett. Here comes Andy Palicki to his outside in turn number 1. He's trying to pass Matt Schlosser here. It's been hard for those restarts there on the bottom. We'll see it. Oh, but wow, Schlosser gets a great run here. Off turn number 2 now, as he's going to fight here for the lead. Palicki now, we got a wreck farther back. Caution flag back out.
Yep, and oh my goodness, look out. Milfeld Jr. looks like Charlie Widner involved. But both of those trucks are facing the wrong direction again, and Michael Milfeld Jr. just cannot catch a break the second half of the run.
Well, I was going to say, I can't catch a break. My Cavaliers are in the Eastern Conference Finals. I got the TV going up here, and they're actually beating the Knicks. They were just beating them by 13, now back down to 11. I'm ready to catch the fourth quarter here, but at this rate, I might be still watching this from the broadcast seat here tonight. It has just been chaos here of late. These drivers just having a lot of trouble. It seems on these restarts, I know we're fighting for every tooth and nail, but a lot of these now start to happen, a little bit farther back, which we'll try to figure out here what causes this one, Tyler.
Yep,
Oh, I
and
think Melfelt loses it. Yep, he's just gonna lose it off the off exit, and he's gonna turn down into Widner. I think that one's gonna be on the 99 here, and that is just gonna add insult to injury. He has had a rough night here tonight.
oh yeah, absolutely. It's just a rough night getting even worse. Kind of almost like I'll do a funny comparison for you here. It's almost kind of like how my Orlando Magic was at the start of the season. Everyone just wanted to get hurt, and then we finally get a chance. And honestly, I would have loved to have gone up against you guys in the Eastern Conference Finals, but no, we decided to just fall apart against Detroit. But I guess I got to root you guys on now because I really don't want the Knicks to win. So
Yeah, I forgot.
there's my point of view.
You guys were up 3-1 and lost the series, unfortunately. Yeah, I forgot about that one. It's and now the Knicks back up to 11 here. So yeah, hopefully my Cavs can steal Game 1 in New York. That would be something. I think that'd give them a lot better odds of winning the series. But back to racing here. We got a number of trucks. Gunther's still back on right here on pit lane, still trying to get his truck here fixed tonight, and it's just been hard for him ever since he has taken that damage and trying to get back into this thing, but it might not be his night here tonight. Zach Lockett still leads here over Schlosser, Plicky, Freed, and Carver.
Yep, and I'm keeping an eye right now on Brody Gunther's front nose of his truck. Still not able to get enough of it. However, I am starting to see more and more of that fender starting to get straightened back up. So Brody's, I think, trying to do everything he can, trying to save everything possible. But it's gonna be really interesting to see what all plans out here. And actually, I just heard over the race chat that one of the Venom Series truck drivers is actually doing some commentary for dirt racing with the World of Outlaws.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. We'll have to find out who that is. We got to get him up here in the booth.
That is Tommy Cook. And that is why we do not see him on the track right now, as he is out there with World of Outlaws for, I would have to look and see when their upcoming race is. I know I know the High Limits got a race coming up that's going to be broadcasted on Fox Sports 1. I'll have to look. I'm going to look on the schedule here real quick to see where their next race is at for World of Outlaws. And it's actually, from what I'm seeing on here, 2 days from now on Thursday for the Hy-Vee Perks 40 over in Jacksonville Speedway in Jacksonville, Illinois. So
yeah, a lot of racing up here. And, well, back action here. Zach Lockett, another big run. I think 4 different states for the World of Outlaws here in the next few nights, Tyler. So keep an eye on that over on Flow Racing. And here we go. Zach Lockett now into the lead. Here's Schlosser back to second. Sandy Plicky, Josh Freed, John Kay. That's your top 5. 119, a 150 in the books here at Gateway. We're going to count them down here. And Schlosser now, he's going to get a good run. He's getting really good runs through the middle of the turns. He's getting a lot of run off. I think he's going to get there eventually as Zach Lockett now under siege. Oh, we got a wreck farther back.
We got a big wreck. Cliff Doutfit, big hard hit in the wall as well in the backstretch. A few other people involved. I believe that Jack Watts might have gotten a piece of it. And actually, no, Tyler Bergen, from what I'm seeing, just Cliff Doutfit just got in the outside wall, bounced off of Jack Watts, and then Tyler Berger got caught up in it. Clef Doutfit, the worst of it there, and that was just a really unfortunate incident there, too.
Yeah, another caution flag. The rookie who was actually up front earlier, 3 wide with Watts. We're going to watch it here again on the replay.
Yeah, you can just see on the replay, they were 3 wide, and that's the one downside with Gateway is how that safer barrier stretches out. It stretches out just enough in turn 4 that you think you're going to clear it enough to where you're not hitting the safer barrier, but you're going to be right as close as you can to that concrete wall, but just a little too early, and he hit the safer barrier in the right spot, and around he goes. And unfortunate for Jack Watts and Tyler Bergen, just nowhere to go. This is going to give opportunity again for some of these drivers to go and get some repairs, especially Brody Gunther. That's going to be another one. Again, he'll be able to get more damage repairs on it. That nose is starting to really get put back together. I don't know how much longer he's got, but I have a feeling as soon as he gets that fully repaired, he's putting on a fresh set of tires, and look out. He is going to be a man on a mission trying to recover as many points as he can.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten what he needed, and that's a bunch of yellow flags. Problem for him running out of time. Mired back in 28th at the moment. So that's going to be the tough call to try to, not only finish fixing this Ford, but then once he does, obviously make up all these positions. It's going to be very hard to do with the track position here tonight. A couple others on pit lane. That's Charlie Widner, Joshua Rutherford, obviously Clef Douthit, who was just involved in that one as well. So we go back up front, Zach Lockett. Man, he's just getting these restarts mastered, and he's not having to hold off these guys on a longer run, and that's what he likes to see right now. It's definitely helping him shrink this race, Tyler.
Yeah, and I think that's what Zach needs. He needs a really good opportunity here to get that momentum off the start, because Schlosser's really good on the long runs, and you can see it time and time again. And so we've watched many different races. He's able to just get an opportunity to get that push going. And then you got also, too, Josh Freed, Andy Palicki, both Toyota drivers that have been really good as well when it comes to just trying to make the long runs work. I mean, there's some guys in here that are really good on both on long runs, and then we got some guys that are really good on short runs. So I'm curious to see how some of these guys are going to be able to pull out. I mean, we got Lucas Carver in 6th, John Kay in 5th, Paul Ellison, who's been able to make a good recovery back up to 7th. I mean, I am looking forward to seeing how this race goes for these guys, because there is not much left.
Yeah, pace truck lights off again. And we're going to rack them again. 10 cautions now. And if you go back to the first half of this race and watch it, these guys were super clean. And we were having green flag stops, and before the end of those green flag stops, that caution flew, and since then it has been a race filled with yellow flags. We'll see if we can get a longer green flag run here to end tonight's race. I'd love to see one, because these guys have been putting on a show when we are green. That is for sure here tonight.
Yep, and I'm looking forward to it, because we're going to have the defending champ from Season 10, Matt Slosser, on the inside lane. Zach Lockett has been having very great runs on this outside lane, so see what happens here. And you got Andy Palicki right behind him. If Andy Palicki can get another great run here, this is going to get interesting into turn number 1 to see what Slosser's going to do here, trying to see if he can defend that inside lane.
Yeah, I like Slosser here too. Try to find a way around Lockett if he gets the time to do it. Lockett to the restart zone, green flag back out. But a better start here from Andy Palicki. Oh, there goes the 39. He's going to dive underneath Schlosser 3 wide here into turn number 1. Can he make it work is the question.
He is not able to make it work. The other big thing I just noticed too, Andy Palicki's pitted back on lap 85, while Schlosser and Freed are all pitted back on lap 95. So it might be a little bit of a tire difference there. And I noticed John Kay tapping the wall a little bit. John Kay gets the run on Carver after Carver taps the wall. And already they're just trying to be able to get that run off. Zach Lockett able to get a slight run, but Schlosser's right there on his tail bumper, looking at maybe going on the inside lane again.
Yeah, Freed's going to battle underneath Palicki here. John Kay currently in your top 5. Lucas Carver is in 6th. As we come off here, here's a big run from Schlosser. Down the back stretch, here we go into turn number 3, all over the back bumper now of the 93. Palicki there as well. The 93 is going to use that middle lane. Schlosser going to stay on that bottom. He's going to come off float here to the top down the front stretch here. It's 5 trucks, not separated by all too much here. Into turn number 1, 25 laps to go.
And John Kay way on the outside there, trying to get around Josh Freed, not able to get it to work. He's going to
try to crossover.
And crossover there, has enough momentum still to maybe make that crossover work. He's going to dive it into the corners, going to be barely clear of him.
Oh!
And actually, Freed's going to get a quarter panel on him, just enough on that arrow on the right rear. But John Kay able to get the momentum as he's going to get shoved by Josh Freed. And that's going to open up a half a second gap here as Freed's going to look on the inside lane again.
Yeah, Freed right here underneath now. The 55 of Paul Ellison trying to make the pass here. He's got the advantage here with that outside lane. Back up front here. A big, oh, look at Andy Palicki. Oh, there goes Slosher. He's going to go around Zach Lockett. Zach Lockett's going to battle back. Palicki right here. A battle for the lead between the top 3 trucks.
And Andy Palicki thought about going 3 there. Coming to the line, Matt Slosher is going to be getting the lead just enough ahead as Lockett goes down on the inside line to defend. Andy Palicki looking at potentially trying to do a crossover move here if he can get the momentum, but not able to get enough momentum means he's going to slide back behind Slosher and hope that Slosher can get enough momentum here going into 3 and 4. Sackett, though, gets the momentum on the inside, but he is pushing up the track. Andy Palicki holding that rumble strip line, maybe trying to get a momentum, but look right behind him. John Kay is going to get the momentum now. This is going to be a 4-truck battle for the lead now, as Slosher's still trying to get around Zach Lockett.
Yeah, and that's what John K. Palicki need to see, these two side by side. If they come together at all, look for one of them to capitalize. Here's John Kay. He's going to make the best of it. He's now around Palicki for 3rd. John Kay coming alive here late in the number 2. Chevrolet. Don't count out Paul Ellison. He's up 17 positions. The 55 gets to the back bumper of the 32 here. Here comes Josh Freed. He's going to try to battle back. What a race we have. Man, I just pray this thing goes green. These drivers getting after it. Slosher leads now over Lockett. Here goes John Kay in turn 1 underneath the 93. He looks for another spot.
He's looking for another spot, trying to get that momentum there on the inside lane. Is going to have enough. Zach Lockett taps the wall a little bit there. Give the advantage to John Kay slightly. Slosher now already got 0.2 of a second gap. Kay dives it on the inside. He's going to have to deal with a little bit of aero wash, dirty air from Matt Slosher, but he's still going to have enough momentum. But give it back to Zach Lockett, who taps the wall again, coming to the line. And here we go, John Kay trying again as he's going to send it down on the inside lane. Enough to slide job barely in front of Zach Lockett, and John Kay's going to take 2nd spot for the time being.
Yeah, and John Kay really needed to make that pass when he did, and now he can go after Matt Slosher. And that is what you need to do. You need to get those passes. You got to make them quick. Here goes Andy Palicki. He's going to try to make quick work here. Now of Zach Lockett. Can he get around him for 3rd? Ooh, it looks like, wow, we got a bunch of trucks getting up and into the wall. Kyle Zittel back up here into the top 10. He's up to 9th at the moment. Here comes John Kay. He's the man on the move. He might be the man to beat. 2 Chevrolets here. Battle at the top. Caution flag.
Ellison,
back out.
Ellison with a blown motor as well. Hit the wall hard. I'm trying to see what happened here. Oh, man. Ellison just, oh, man. He snaps oversteer and just destroys the whole right front of the truck. Believe that might end up being a game changer there. That's going to be a night ender for Paul Ellison, as I believe that broke the right front entirely on Paul Ellison.
Yeah, man, and we were just talking about him getting back into this. Let's go back here and watch here. Yeah, Paul, he's going to get loose. We've seen it a lot tonight. One truck spins, and man, it's going to go right up and into the fence. Hard hit in the outside barrier. And that's what's going to expire probably that engine here tonight. That Dodge Ram is not going to be able to make it, I do not believe, to the end of this one. And what a race it was for him up until this point. And that is unfortunate for Paul Ellison.
Yeah, really unfortunate, because Paul Ellison had a really great run as well. Did not have a great start to the race, to a great qualifying, but he was able to make things work in just a really unfortunate night ender there for Ellison. So Ellison's now going through the grass, trying to avoid trucks, trying to get to pit road so he can maybe see if he can get any kind of damage repairs done. But just with looking at how much that right front is dipping down, I don't think it's going to be any.
I don't want to cut you off, but look at this. Zach Lockett pit lane. This is Andy Palicki. Steve Roman and Eric Breeding.
And we still have 16 laps to go. We'll probably have about 15 or 14 coming to the green flag. So these guys are going to use that one set of tires they might still have left. And sure enough, they're using them. And this is going to get very interesting when it comes to who's taking the gamble and see how quickly can they make it back through the field. Because I don't know, but 14 laps is a lot to ask on on these tires trying to get through the field, especially with Zach Lockett going to be coming out first out of the pits, and they are going to be starting 22nd and 23rd behind the rest of this field.
Yeah, it's just been a night of a lot of different strategies. These cautions just have probably made it a lot harder, to be quite frank, on these drivers, debating when to come in, when not to. But one driver who has battled back from a wreck here between him and Brody Gunther, it's Kyle Zittel. And he just finds a way every week to scratch and claw and fight. And here he is. He's got that Ram, I believe, into the top 5. And don't count him out. He's got time to put that 53 machine in victory lane, as he's right now behind Josh Freed and just in front of Jan Van Leer. As Matt Slosser now will choose that outside lane once again. But, you know, the tough part for John Kay here is he's got to start on the bottom. And I think this is going to be beneficial here for Freed. He's going to start right behind your race leader. We've seen a few make it work and hold that second position, but John Kay is going to have to anticipate that restart here for Matt Slosser. 11th caution flag coming to an end. And who knows, one of these is going to be the last restart of the race. And man, I'm still on the edge of my seat because we still have no idea who is going to win here tonight.
Absolutely, and you also have to look, Jan Van Leer, Kyle Zittel, Hayden Palumbo, all pitted on lap 107, so they've been able to get the momentum here as well. So it's going to be really interesting here with 14 laps to go, coming to green. Pace truck getting ready to dive off.
Here we go, Matt Slosser going to try to get that really good restart yet again. And into the restart zone, Matt Slosser is going to get the jump. John Kay, though, not a terrible restart here. Freed is going to try to battle there. Carver all over the back bumper of Kay here into turn number 1. John Kay's got to clear Freed if he can off turn number 2. He does. And now he can continue to go after your race leader, Kyle Zittel. We got one spun. We stay green for now. 15 laps to go. You see in the bottom right here, that's Carver as he's working here against Freed. Underneath him for now, Kay still trying to go after Slosser.
And Slosser's right now trying to pull away as Kay's got the momentum. Zittel and Freed battling hard, and Freed gets a little bit of tab. Oh man, we
Zittel
are
too with Jan Van Leer.
Back.
There goes Palumbo.
And Palumbo's able to sneak on through. Palumbo, the highest out of those guys, pitted on lap 107.
Oh, Van Leer. Yeah, he's going to hit Freed again. No, he's going to get back in Zittel. He's going to wash off the track. Oh, and Jan Van Leer is all over.
And he was able to hang on to it.
Oh, and not to cut you off again, but here comes the 2. Down the front stretch. He's below Slosser here. Can he get the pass? John Kay's going to throw it in there. We've seen Slosser, though, use that run off the turn. They're going to battle off turn 2. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Lucas Carver licking his chops, as is Hayden Palumbo.
And Hayden Palumbo hoping that these guys continue battling as Slosser still giving it a momentum there on that middle lane. Kay's trying to get the momentum off, and he's not able to do it. They are still going to be side by side coming off of 4. Palumbo and Carver trying to work their way. They are single file now. Zittel up the 5th, and he is trying to follow as well. And Kay dives it in again, just not able to get the momentum as that middle lane is starting to work again here for Slosser. But Slosser hits the wall. Slosser's going to lose a little bit of momentum here as Kay's going to start looking on the inside lane again, coming into 3 and 4. Kay's going to dive it in there, and he's going to be able to clear Matt Slosser, and he is going to be able to take the point, and Slosser's going to try to do the undercut, and it's not going to work. John Kay takes over the lead.
John Kay all the way to the front now. He's in control of this race with 11 laps to go. Lucas Carver now looking to get to the back bumper of the 04. Here's a battle for 3rd. It's between Hayden Palumbo and Kyle Zittel. Let's not count out Zittel out. He's trying to get there right now. He can't do it on this lap. Jan Van Leer in the, the 5th position. Or, sorry, the 6th position. And I'm just trying to watch all these battles. It's just great battles all over the racetrack. Kay still leads it here with just 10 laps to go. And here's the battle for second. Carver is there for a second. And he is working hard to try to find a way to launch Slosser. If he wants to go after Kay, he's going to have to make the pass soon, or else he will run out of time. Here goes Slosser back to the bottom.
Yeah, but I'm keeping an eye further back, as well as the first car on fresh tires. Chris Mackey has been shoving people out of the way. He's up to 12th now, but he's only 2.5 seconds behind the leader, but he is struggling trying to get the momentum on some of these guys. And Stearns is going to be blocking, but these guys, I don't know if Mackey's going to have enough time. Slaughter's trying everything he can with John Kay, and Lucas Carver is right on the back bumper of Matt Slaughter right now as well.
Just excellent racing here.
Oh man, 7 gets shoved into the wall by Chris Mackey. That's George Jackson. Brody Gunther's trying to get some momentum. They're 3 wide further back. No caution yet, but these guys are really fighting hard in the mid-pack as well. Just keeping an eye on that, but they are good, as Lucas Carver's now going to make a move on the inside lane of Matt Slaughter here for second, and he is going to be dooring him.
Oh,
and
there
Siddle
goes,
makes a contact with
Palumbo and
Palumbo.
Siddle. They're going to hit the wall.
Big
Caution
hit
flies.
as well. Andy Palicki spun around. We are more trucks starting to wreck as well. The 26 is around. Eric Breeding is able to get spun around. He is able to keep it off the wall.
Caution flag out for the 12th time tonight. Kyle Zittel, a part of this one again.
Man, what a turn of events here, as we are going to be probably close to either a natural green-white checkered or a 4-lap shootout here, as we're working lap 144 of 150 here with this caution.
Yeah, I think we gave Zittel a break earlier, but I don't think he's going to get a break here. It looks like he's going to wash up a little bit, and he's going to get into the 35 of Hayden Palumbo. He's going to turn him. They're going to make contact again. I believe Zittel. Yep, Zittel's going to hit the inside fence, as is Palumbo.
Man, what a hard battling, too, with these guys trying to catch up to those leaders, and man, just really unfortunate runs, too, and it was a great run that Palumbo had, as well as Zittel, and just both of those guys get knocked out there. It just changes the momentum again for this points battle as well.
Yeah, each and every week. Big point implications, that is for sure. But John Kay has a shot to go to victory lane here tonight at Gateway. And he'll have to hold off Matt Slosser, Lucas Carver, Jan Van Leer, and Kyle Zittel. Well, Kyle Zittel's actually going to... He's still holding up there, we'll see, but he's got some damage in the back of that Dodge Ram.
Yeah, and some significant left rear damage. It might loosen up the truck a little bit, but I don't know how much it's going to help aero-wise, but, I mean, he's got a significant damage as well on that left front, so we'll see how hard he's going to fight to just hang on to it, but, I mean, we are kind of getting in that territory where it looks like we will more than likely have a green-white checkered finish, but Zittel's going to try to hang it out as much as he can and do his best and hold on to 5th, but these guys are going to get really aggressive right off the bat.
And here's your race recap here tonight. We're tracking lap 145 of 150. Your leader, John Kay. We've had 12 cautions now for 37 laps tonight and only a few lead changes, which is shocking tonight. It seems like we've had some more than that, so kind of shocked by that number. Not quite sure if that's right. It seems like we've had more. I know, obviously, Brody Gunther led a lot early in this race, but of late, here is John Kay. As the pace truck lights will go out, and here we will go. Next time by, we will go back green, and we'll try to decide this one here at Gateway.
It'll be really interesting. I'm looking forward to this battle. This is going to be a wild start here. Kate's going to be hoping to get a huge start here to be able to pull away, and it's going to be everyone's going to be on the move and fighting. We're going to see some 3 wide, maybe 4 wide action going into turn 1.
Well, I'm a happy camper tonight. Looks like the Cavs starting to pull away here in game number 1. And I'm enjoying one of the great battles here on the racetrack between these leaders. It's been a good night. Now we get to decide who is going to win it. John Kay looking to get to victory lane.
We'll see how this all plays out too for these guys, and they are looking at everything they can here. Pace truck's off in the hands of John Kay now.
Green flag back in the air. Let's decide it here at Gateway. 4 laps to go, so no green-white checker finish yet. We get to the white flag here tonight before we will stay in regulation. We'll get a caution flag. It will put us into overtime. A great start for Kay. Lear fights back here. He might have the outside advantage here on Slosser. And he does. He's going to clear him. Jan Van Leer in the second.
Jan Van Leer's on fresher tires, 10 laps fresher tires, then John Kay. But John Kay's been really more aggressive though than Jan Van Leer, but has Jan Van Leer able to save enough tires? 3 to go this time around, as John Kay is still holding on to a 0.3 of a second gap as Jan Van Leer is going to try to get some momentum, a caution out. Hayden Palumbo around. Gary Clark Jr. is also involved. And it happened in the back of the field. Gary Clark Jr. just spins himself around on the nose of Hayden Palumbo there on the start-finish line. And a big hit as well for Gary Clark Jr., and that expired the motor.
Yeah, we're watching it back here, and that'll put us in the NASCAR overtime. Not a caution John Kay wanted to see, but he'll have to do it again. He's got a lot of practice on these restarts. Clark gets a lot of damage. Hayden Palumbo now not going to be able to make this race work for him. He had a great run up until that point from his starting position here tonight. And what an eventful night here tonight, Tyler, from the drop of the green flag. 13 cautions here now at Gateway. As next week we turn the page to Nashville. And we do want to appreciate everyone still tuning in here tonight, watching this one. It's been a long night here so far.
Yep, a long night, but these guys have been given a really great battle here, and who knows, this could be we got 3 attempts at green-white checkered, so a lot can happen here still with these guys, and if I was Jan Van Leer, I would be hoping to have a really good start here, especially knowing that you have 10 lap fresher tires than John Kay.
Yeah, I mean, Jan Van Leer, he's up 10 positions so far here tonight. He's got a chance to get that In-N-Out Burger Machine to victory lane. And we'll pace at least one more time around. And we got Matt Schlosser here up to 3rd. Josh Freed, he's remained in the top 5 here in the later part of this race. He's up 23 positions. That might be the biggest mover so far here tonight, and it is. You'd have to go back to Austin Holyfield in 7th, who's up 21 positions. Lucas Carver is up 8. Kyle Zittel up 8. So if you look at the top 7, those are drivers all up positions tonight. Zach Lockett is right where he started. The first driver that is down from where he started, that's Chad Stearns in 9th. Jordan Jornal right now, he's going to round out your top 10. He's up 8 positions. So that's where we stand at the moment as we head to NASCAR overtime.
And out of those drivers, Zach Lockett pitted with fresh tires back on lap 133. So there's still a chance that Zach Lockett can work his way up. He's been having a little bit faster runs than these other drivers, but how much longer can those fresher tires work for these guys, especially for Zach Lockett, who's on 40 lap fresher tires than the likes of John Kay, Matt Schlosser, and Josh Freed. And that's going to be a big question there as John Kay chooses the outside line again here as we're going to get ready for lights out, and we're getting ready here for this first attempt at a green-white checker. top 5. In front row, John K, Jan Van Leer. Second row is Matt Slosher, Josh Freed. Third row, Lucas Carver, Kyle Zittel. Got Holofield, Lockett, Jordan Journeau, Chad Stearns, your top 10 on this restart. Get ready. This green-white checker's going to be very intense, and I would not be surprised if we see some more people diving in the corners. Keep an eye on that 93 of Zach Lockett. Freshest tires of everyone as the pace trucks get ready to peel off.
Well, here we go. NASCAR overtime. We take the white flag. This one will be official. John K will start to the outside of Jan Van Leer. Look for Freed to try to make a move as well. Here we go. Coming out of turn number 4 to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air.
And Jan Van Leer did not have a great start there either, but he is going to try to get the momentum. Josh Freed sends it on the outside lane. K is able to get a half a second gap. Matt Slosher on the inside trying to get a run, and he is going to be pushing Jan Van Leer a little bit here trying to get the run.
Yeah, well, that's great news for John K. Seeing these guys battle for the second position. They're starting to tangle as John K. is going to come outside of turn number 4. All he wants to do is see the white flag, and he will. One lap to go here in the Venom Truck Series from Gateway.
Van Leer finally gets around Josh Freed, but Josh Freed sends it back on the inside lane, gives John K an even more advantage, a 6/10 of a second gap as these guys are fighting hard for second.
One wrecking out back.
Gets around in the back.
John K, he's got plenty of trunk lengths in between him and Jan Van Leer. He's just got one more turn to make here at Gateway. Van Leer not there, not going to get there. It's John K to victory lane at Gateway. And John K, who started in 5th, wins tonight's race, just ahead of Jan Van Leer and Josh Freed, who is your podium finishers here tonight. But what a race here by John K as the fireworks go off here at Gateway. The Arches of Power Pole for Pigeons 150 goes to John K.
What a race and what a finish, especially for that top 3 with Jan Van Leer. A big points night for him going into this, as Jan Van Leer was way down in the standings if I recall. So a big momentum boost here for Jan Van Leer. And then how about John K and Josh Freed, your winner and 3rd place, both sitting 7th going into this, and Josh Freed in 10th going into this. Both of those drivers are going to have huge jumps in the point standings.
That they are. John K going around again, as he's one happy camper here tonight. He looks to go and celebrate. You see him, Zittel, Carver, and Rainey all here at the start-finish line. These guys having some fun here on a Tuesday night.
Yep, and that is the Alabama gang. That is the all 4 drivers there just sitting out there, lining up for nice little quick little team photos. John K finally starts burning it down.
We'll get our top 3 up here momentarily. What a shot right there. We got to hide that because that is a great shot of John K burning it down the front stretch here with his teammates behind. And man, what a race here for John K. His other teammates still, they're all going to have some fun as well here tonight, Kyle Zittel and company. But we'll be right back here live on PGR. We'll get an interview here with Josh Freed, Jan Van Leer, and tonight's race winner, John K. Well, we're going to dial up your 3rd place finisher here tonight. It's going to be Josh Freed, who battled inside the top 5 for most of the later stages of this race, but battled here to a 3rd place and podium position all the way from the 27th position here tonight. Josh, we got you in the booth. It's Mike and Tyler. How you doing here tonight?
Doing great. How about you guys?
We are doing good, man. But what a drive for you, up 20 from the 27th spot. It looked like, I mean, a chaotic race after the halfway point on. A lot of cautions, but you know, a lot of guys stayed out. Not sure if you were part of that had stayed out and ended up, you know, kind of cycling to the front. But walk us through your race here tonight. You battled there, like I said, in the later stages of that race there in the top 5-10, but you're able to pull off a podium position here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't come in with any practice, so qualifying really set behind the eight ball. But just got in the hang of it the first half of the race, just finding my line, finding my breaking points and everything. Definitely got more comfortable. Felt a lot better on the long run too. And yeah, I got a little off cycle on the tires, and it worked out to get up there. And then at the end, I was a little behind on the tires, but just it's so hard to pass here and so hard to make up time that I didn't really want to risk giving up all that track position and trying to make my way back, especially with how chaotic that end got. So definitely ended up making the right call, and happy I was able to keep it up there.
Yeah, a great way to gain some points here in this series as it heads to Nashville next week. How do you feel about heading over there to Nashville and a little bit different racetrack there?
Yeah, I love Nashville. Have a lot of fun there. Almost got a win there a couple seasons ago. Got beat out by Chad at the end on a fuel strategy call, but yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I definitely enjoy it. So hopefully we can snag a lot of points there as well.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you up here in the booth tonight, and a great job getting on the podium tonight. Before we let you go, though, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Just shout out my teammates. Always keeping a race fun, especially under caution, getting to mess around and have some fun. But good runs by everybody on the team as well. Matt, Chad, and Zach, great finishes. And thanks you guys in the booth, doing a great job.
Well, there you have it. Your third place finisher here tonight, Josh Freed, as he will head to Nashville with some momentum. As we'll look to get a, I think we're going to bring up, yep, this is him. It's Jan Van Leary, and he's going to be standing by here with my co-host, Tyler Vickery.
Yep, and absolutely. And we got, actually, we got Nigel. Or I'm getting confused here. My bad. We got Jan Van Leer here. What a run for you there. What a run for you there after having the wild chaos race. Just thought process with the second half of the race after the long green flag run, and then going off sequence there when it comes to the pit road strategy.
Yeah, it was a bit of a debate there within the team. First of all, I just want to say I've been waiting to get an interview so I can set the record straight. My name is Jan. I don't actually mind you guys saying it wrong, but just so all the people at home know who's driving the car, it is Jan. But anyway, we were debating on what to do there, and then kind of coming to the actual pit entrance, I was like, just do it, just go, go, go. So we went in, and then it was like we were cursed because it was just caution after that, and we were like, man, we're screwed here. But it seemed to work out in the end. I knew if we could just get one or two good runs, or if we could get enough runs to where some of those guys had to pit, then that would start opening the door, and that's kind of what happened.
Well, especially helping out your team. I know that's going to help you out a lot in the points. I don't know if you're going to be running, if you're running a full season or if you're running a partial season, but still, I know you had a rough go with most of the start of this season right now, but that points lead, and especially when you guys running for, I believe, insert coin racing, I know that's going to help you guys out for even just the team battle alone.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I am running the rest of the season. I'm just moved recently from California to North Carolina, so that's why I missed 2 weeks. And then since I already missed 2 weeks and was kind of out of the chase because all of my terrible luck, I was joking with the team that my average finish did not start. But it was pretty bad the first few races. So yeah, it's good for the team. Happy to be out in front. Happy to be interviewed. That was a big goal, and back up to running top 5, top 10.
Well, Jan, at least you can say though you can definitely help out your average finish here with a nice little second place, and we'll go ahead and let you get some shout outs here as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Shout out to my team, Insert Coin Racing. They are the best teammates I could ever hope for. We're always really good in terms of just kind of talking things over and keeping each other calm. Hayden, in particular, was really helpful on this run. Shout out to In-N-Out Burger for being back on my truck and getting me out of the slump. I kind of hate to say it, but I think my AM/PM truck was cursed. Beautiful paint. Unfortunately, it had a curse on it. So we might do a little retooling on that, bring it back out later in the season. But yeah, shout out to my family, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you guys too for calling the show.
Well, you heard it
Absolutely.
right there from your second place finisher here tonight. That's Jan Van Leer. We're going to get that right here each and every week from now on. We'll move him down, and we're going to bring in tonight's winner. My Cavs are starting to blow it, Tyler, so I'm going to have to get moving to that. It was a 22-point lead, and now it's down to 5. You know, that's just basketball for you. So I'm sweating this one out over here during a timeout here. But more importantly, let's get to our winner here tonight. John K in the 2, the A&B Coffee Chevrolet. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, you got to be one happy camper here tonight. You came alive in the later stage of this race. And count how many restarts you had to keep fending off Matt Slozer and Jan Van Leer, Josh Freed, and each and every one you do. You see them all battling behind you in the closing laps, and are able to get the number 2 back to victory lane. How does it feel here tonight at Gateway?
It feels pretty damn good. It's been I know the point standings don't reflect it, but been a lot faster than 7th in points this year or this season, and it's just been ill-timed cautions, me being stupid, me getting spun. I got spun tonight somehow, but came back, got her done. A couple good restarts there at the end, and yeah, just hung in there, never gave up, no quit.
Well, no quit, and we saw a great effort from you here tonight. And I mean, what's it feel like in there when you're constantly you have to go back to the restart. Are you worried, or are you pretty comfortable there knowing you're starting? You get the lane choice. You're taking that outside as everyone was tonight. Do you feel comfortable doing that, or did the pressure start them out there?
Kind of a little bit. Like the first restart, I was pretty nervous. Matt Schlosser is a hell of a driver, and I gotta say, I gotta apologize to him. I adored the hell out of him, and he was by me, and I was like, man, I haven't restarted on the front row like all season from the lead. I was like, it's been a while. I was like, well, let's see what happens. And he rolled up next to me and kind of had to back out of it a little bit, and I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I just stepped on it, and the truck stayed straight. And after that, I was like, all right, well, I don't think anybody's going to be able to get me on a restart. Switched it up on Jan. I'd been going kind of later, letting everybody get bunched up, and then I think I caught Jan off guard going early there at the end, and yeah, just had to execute at the end. I think that's what I've been missing all season, is just there's been a lot of ticky-tack stuff. Haven't quite executed on track, and man, it feels really good. Hadn't had a top 5 all season, and come home with a win is pretty freaking cool. It's hard to win in this league, so I'm gonna enjoy this one.
Well, man, go enjoy this one. And before we let you go, celebrate that victory, man. Anyone you want to thank or shout out here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out my fiance. She freaking came running in here, hooping and hollering and jumping around. She's the best. She lets me do this every week, even when I probably shouldn't have. Had my gallbladder taken out like 2.5 weeks ago or so. So yeah, probably shouldn't have been doing this last 2 weeks, but it paid off. So shout out to her. She's amazing. Shout out my mom and dad. Shout out the whole team, Alabama gang, Garrett, Paul, Luke, Kyle. Those guys kept my head on straight there when I got spun, and just kept me in the game. Kept me in the game. They gave me 5 minutes to be pissed off and let me come back strong. Shout out Sean Schaefer, my boss. Gave me my desk. Couldn't do it without him. Shout out my buddy Couch if he's watching. Shout out to you guys for broadcasting. Putting out a great product for us every week. And obviously shout out A&B Coffee, man. Best coffee shop in Greenville. If you're ever in town hanging out with me, we're going to get some freaking A&B. And man, I'm pumped. If they want it, I'm gonna give them this trophy. This is freaking awesome. I hope Aaron and Betsy are watching, and see you guys in the morning if you are. And shout out to RJ Starcevic and Motor Stardom. Go follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. RJ's got the best news out there. He gets it out there quick, and he's always on point. And then shout out you guys and the Venomcast YouTube channel. Go watch all the Venomcast episodes.
Well, go enjoy tonight. I'm glad you guys are having some fun over there at the household. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you again here soon this season.
I hope so.
Well, a great win there by John K. And having some difficulties with the video here. I don't know why, but we'll let Tyler Vickery tonight go through your finishing order.
Absolutely, and John K. again wins it here at Gateway in a dramatic finish as well. And then you got Jan Van, I'm hoping I'm going to have to remember that too. Jan Van Leer in second, Josh Freed in third, got Zach Lockett in fourth, Matt Slaughter, the defending champion, in fifth, Kyle Zittel in sixth, Lucas Carver in seventh, Austin Hollifield in eighth, Garrett Rainey in ninth, and then you got Chad Stearns rounding out your top 10. You then got Chris Mackey, the first rookie, in 11th, Parker Donaldson, another rookie, in 12th, Josh Jackson in 13th, Brody Gunther recovering back up to 14th after the wreck. You got Brantley Gainey in 15th, Andy Palicki in 16th, Corey Rutherford in 17th, Rodney Matney in 18th, and then Clef Dalford in 19th, and Cole Maxwell rounds out your top 20. Then further down as well, you got Charlie Widner, the rookie, in 21st, Matt Williamson, the other rookie, in 22nd, Eric Breeding in 23rd, Jack Watson 24th, Hayden Palumbo having the unfortunate run there in 25th, Corey Clark, the other rookie, in 26th, Jordan Journeau in 27th, and Joshua Rutherford in 28th, and then Tyler Bergert in 29th, your first car a lap down. And then you have Gary Clark rounding out your 30th, top 30 there, after having an unfortunate event in 30th. And then the other three trucks DNFing, you got Steve Ruman in 31st, Paul Ellison in 32nd, and Michael Milfeld Jr. rounding out your 33 truck field here at Gateway.
Well, it was an eventful night, but it ends with John K. in victory lane here at Gateway. The Venom Truck Series will head next week on Tuesday night to Nashville, and we'll let you know if it'll be live here on PGR. I believe Tommy going to be filling in for some of the broadcasting duties for that one. But until then, we have the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series coming up on Thursday night. Looking forward to that one, that is for sure. And then every Monday night, you can catch Kyle Zittel here, the Venom truck driver, in the PGR Light Series. Well, that's it from Gateway here tonight. For myself, Michael Triscaro, and my co-host tonight, Tyler Vickery. We'll be back with you a couple weeks from now, for sure, here live on PGR. Have a good night.